Good evening, friends. Welcome back to the Castro Valley News live show. I am a little bit tardy because I was setting up this wonderful new equipment. Good evening, Cali Life 80. If you're not familiar with the show, what we do is an interactive video and audio show where we talk about things that are happening in our town, events of the day, things that are on our mind, and we do this every Tuesday. My trackpad just went dead. Just reset this. So if you're not familiar with the show, we start off the show with a roll call. And I apologize, like I said, I was late getting things set up, getting all the new wonderful equipment set up. Come back. Okay, everything got connected. Okay, we're connected again. Sorry about that, guys. The trackpad, my trackpad and keyboard completely lost connection. So welcome everyone. Oh my goodness, I'm missing the roll call. Good evening to Denise. Good evening to Deborah. Good evening to Dennis. Dennis, thank you for your unflinching support for the show. If you're not familiar with what we do here, every Tuesday we have an interactive. Good evening, Christy. Hope you're doing well. So every Tuesday at 7 p.m. we have a video and audio. We started off just doing audio, but now we do video and audio. Good evening, Kat. We are knee-deep in the roll call. I'm going to move this microphone so you guys can hear me. Let me know, can you guys hear me? How's the audio? How's the lighting? Hope everything's doing great. Bob, good evening to you. Bob is at the news desk here a little bit late. That's all right, Bob. We just started like 2 minutes ago, so you're actually right on time. San Diego Padres 1, Oakland 0, top of the second. That is Bob reporting in from the news desk. Bob, thank you for everything you do for the show to make it even more interesting. And going back to Denise, yes, Denise mentioned something about cruise night, and I will get to that topic in just a second. Dennis is saying all systems go. Thank you, Dennis. And one more time, Dennis, thank you for your continued and generous support to the show. Good evening, Ross. I hope you're doing well. Thank you for the feedback. Hope everyone's doing well. There's I've got a couple things on the list. One thing that, like Denise mentioned, I'd really like to get to shortly, and I'd like to talk about cruise night and the cancellation kind of postponement till next year, but definitely please, if you're listening and you'd like a shout out, post up a comment and I'll give you a shout out and say hello to you. If you're not familiar with the show, I keep saying if you're not familiar with the show, there may be a lot of new listeners out there. So truthfully, if you are new to the show, if you're not a regular, I'd like to let you know that at let's do 7:20. At 7:20 we have the midway giveaway. And during the midway giveaway, I'm going to get loud here because I'm not sure if the audio is soft, but during the midway giveaway, we will be giving away a $20 gift pass to the Chabot Cinema. And I needed to add that to the list of things that we need to discuss tonight. So bear with me. That's number 5 on the list. So let's definitely... Eric Burns says, hello, my bald brother, and hello to you. I'm assuming you're bald as well. I'm trying to look. Yes, you are bald as well. Hello to my bald brother, Eric. Good evening to you. So if you're listening and you want to shout out, definitely post a comment, and I'll say good evening to you. And that way, it's kind of a cool thing for us to kind of check in with each other, and we know who's listening, and we know who's... we get to know the names of our neighbors who are listening. And Jan says, first time with you, love it, and we love you as well. Thank you so much for joining us. One more time, if you are new to the show, and apparently Jan is new to the show, we do this every Tuesday at 7 p.m. and it's kind of, the concept is an old school kind of the beginning concept was an old school radio show which evolved into audio only. So you would see, it used to be just a blank screen, and then we lifted the veil, and we're audio and video now. And I think it's cool. I think it's fun. Like I said, it allows a lot of us to talk to each other, get to know each other, kind of have a safe and neutral platform for us to discuss the things that are happening in our town, and to get to know each other, to say hello and know what's on each other's minds. I think it's something that kind of enhances the community and kind of brings us together a little bit more. Jean Marie says, "Hey, glad you added the video. Thank you so much. It was. I'm gonna be completely frank with you guys, because I definitely appreciate you guys listening and tuning in. To begin with, this was the start of the show was an extreme learning experience for me, and how to, structure something, and how to engage people, and how to plan for a show in advance. It's been a blast. It has been a blast. And Paulette says, "First time Ross recommended this Facebook Live. Happy to be here." Paulette, welcome to you. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much to Ross for recommending the show. I appreciate that. Good evening to Metella, and I want to give a special shout out to Metella. I hope everything is going well with you. I hope your four-legged family member has been returned. I hope everything's going well. Lucille, good evening to you. Welcome to the show, Lucille, and good evening to Sue. Thank you. Sue says, "Listening and trying to remotely help my mom listen to." I'm gonna stop right here. Thank you so much. I'm honored that Lucille Lorge, our local historian, is listening in. If you don't know who Lucille is, she is the author of the wonderful local history book. I will ask our moderator to look that up. I think it's Arcadia Publishing that prints this book. The book is also available at the wonderful Books on B store, run and owned and operated by Renee Reddig, who is a sweetheart, a wonderful person, an independent woman owning a independent business. So if you can, definitely definitely check out Arcadia Publishing, Arcadia Books. They have Lucille's book for sale, also at Books on B, over on B Street. And I did actually forget one thing that I needed across the room. Give me 1 second. You can look at my dog for a moment. He's sleeping behind me. Give me 1 second. Sorry. And that's Hank right there. Hold on 1 second. I'm back, guys. Sorry about that. And there we go. Our moderator definitely just posted up. Lucille Lorge's book can be found at Books on B Street, owned and operated by a wonderful Renee Reddig. You will know Renee. She worked at the B Street bookstore for many years, and then went on to her own and started her own bookstore. And thank you, BB, for the heart for Hank. I don't know if you guys saw him behind me. He's the wonderful co-host snoozing on the couch. Paulette, thank you for the stars that you sent. Good evening to Peggy from Idaho. Thank you and welcome to the show. Peggy Sue from Idaho. Denise gave me a compliment. You are doing a good job. Thank you so much. And Bob mentioned Frank. I thought your name was Roberto. Yes. And another wonderful good evening and hug to our local historian, Lucille Lorge, who has been a wonderful friend and extremely generous to me throughout my career, and just in general. Since I started with the forum, she's been extremely generous with all of her local knowledge and her stories. she is a font of wisdom and knowledge when it comes to Castro Valley, and she has been gracious enough to send us actually. She sent us some of her wonderful local recollections and history stories of Castro Valley, and uh, this is actually cool. I won't share the photo with you, but my friend just had a young child, and it's a great photo of his daughter learning to drink from a big person cup. It's awesome. It's cool. I just felt like, since that just came in and you probably heard the text ding, I wanted to share that with you. So Paulette, thank you so much for the 99 stars. And if you're not familiar with the stars system that Facebook has implemented not too long ago, what you can do, I think there's an icon in the thread. There's an icon in the thread that allows you to send us stars, and I think you have to purchase them. But that way you can send us stars, which means that you like I said Castro Valley? Castro Valley. Thank you for correcting me, Peggy. I apologize for my misstep in enunciation. Enunciation could be a $2 word, but it's only like $1.25. It's not a special word. It's a good word. But definitely, with that said, please, if you get a chance, check out Lucille's Castro Valley book. There's a lot of wonderful information, a lot of historical stories and information about our town, and the things. There's a lot of amazing information and cool stuff in there that I never knew that Lucille has documented beautifully in that book. I think it's like $20, but it's definitely money well spent. And with that said, you can definitely go to Books on B, and it's $20 well spent to support Lucille and also to support Renee over at Books on B. She is awesome. I've known her for many years, and she's great. She's great, and it's a local independent bookstore. It doesn't get any better than that to shop local and support a female-owned independent bookstore. So Bob is saying his wife verified Lucille's books are at Walgreens. So there you go. Check them out at Walgreens too. You can check them out at Walgreens or at, like I said, Books on B, and say hello to Renee and tell her Roberto at Castro Valley News sent you. So I'm blathering when it comes to the roll call and some of these things that open the show. One more time, should I give a last shout out, last chance to the roll call? If you're listening, post up a comment and I'll give you a shout out for the roll call. And I'm going to go through some of the posts here in the thread to see make sure I didn't meet anyone. Thank you, Sharon, for the 260 stars. Thank you, Sharon. And thank you, Jan, for that comment. And a good evening to Jan as well. It looks like I haven't missed anyone in the roll call. So let's get to... Ooh, this is a meaty one. This made a lot of people mad. And I understand. So a couple days ago, we officially, well, last week, I had discussed the cancellation of cruise night, and there was a post that went up a few days ago, and there's a lot of people who are nonplussed. A lot of people who were nonplussed hearing that we decided to postpone cruise night last year, and I understand that. I get that. There were a lot of, as you can imagine, there's a lot of politics surrounding the cancellation of cruise night, and a lot of politics surrounding the reason cruise night was canceled. And I know people can have their. I encourage people, please, And I understand people have their own perspectives and their own feelings and their own passionate emotions around what has happened, what is happening, what may happen, the reality, the thoughts, the knowledge surrounding the pandemic and everything that is involved in and with COVID-19. Given the fact that there is a new variant and there's a lot of people who are getting sick, there's a lot, children are getting sick with this, with the new variant, we decided it would be the responsible thing to do in respect for our community and in and out of respect for the community, for everyone that lives in our town, to postpone cruise night till next year. And this hurts me a lot because the first 2 years of cruise night were fantastic. They were extremely successful. They were a lot of fun. A lot of people got a lot of joy out of cruise night for 2 years. And a lot of local businesses benefited out of the incredible foot traffic that cruise night brought to Castro Valley Boulevard. And I think that right there is the biggest component to why cruise night has been postponed the past 2 years. And that is because of the amount of people that will be on the boulevard. And we don't want to be in a position where we are telling people to mask and be socially distanced from each other. And at the end of the day, cancellation, postponement to next year seems like the responsible, right thing to do. And I know a lot of people were nonplussed. A lot of people are extremely frustrated and are mad and are angry. And there are a lot of people who did a fair amount of finger pointing and name calling to us, and that's okay. I get that you're angry. I'm also frustrated that a lot of things have been canceled. Many of our local events have been canceled. I believe Light Parade, Raw Ranch Rodeo Parade, the Fall Festival was canceled last year. I think there was a vote, or will be a vote very soon, to see if the Fall Festival will continue this year. I believe it's been kind of a tennis match in regards to whether it will or will not continue. I know a lot of events are still going on, and I get that people want to have events. People need to go out and have fun. People need to be able to connect with other people. We all need to be able to go and do things, and I know a lot of us have an unquenched thirst to return to normal, and I don't know how soon that's going to happen because of this new variant. And if you are not aware, just today Alameda County and many other counties have gone back into a mandate of wearing masks inside because of the Delta variant and because of how it spreads. And it's kind of interesting how you can just mention this on certain threads online, and a lot of people just completely go to, this is a hoax, and this is that, and this is XYZ. You can insert the comments here. But with that said, I just wanted to kind of give a little bit more insight to folks who may be listening. I don't think reaching out to a lot of people on that thread would benefit at all, because I think a lot of people are just angry and may have the desire to continue to be angry, and I totally understand that. This is frustrating for me as well, to go from a few months ago, we were ready to rock and roll with Cruise Night. We were very excited. We were super excited. We had a lot of excitement in the meetings with our organizers and the people who volunteer their time. And I want to personally thank Alameda County Sheriff's Office, Castro Valley, California Highway Patrol. I want to thank BB Duarte. I want to thank Arnie Gordon. I also want to thank the folks at Tire Choice next to Safeway, and everybody else who shared the flyer for cruise night and the folks that were excited. Also, I want to thank the Chabot Theatre for being extremely interested in partnering with us to show a movie. They will still have a free movie the day of cruise night, from what I understand. It's Smokey and the Bandit. But like I said, in the interest of being safe and keeping people safe, and probably maybe some people aren't familiar with the sheer amount of people that were on the boulevard for the past few cruise nights. It was the largest event in Castro Valley. The boulevard was packed. Probably we had, I guess if you could imagine the Castro Valley car show times 2, maybe times 3. Those were cars just on the road cruising. Also cars parked, as you can imagine. Cars parked on the street, cars parked on the side, near the sidewalk. People were everywhere. And just like our last cancellation, we're people who love our neighbors. We're people who love our community. Sure, we could maybe continue the event and try to not have have strong suggestions to people to mask and be socially distanced. But are people going to do that? And at the end of the day, if just one person gets sick and potentially spreads this virus to someone who has compromised immunity or underlying health issues and passes away because of this, I don't want that on my conscience. I just don't. Not in my community. So I'm firm in that belief. And on that post that came out a couple of days ago, that kind of went wild, and there was a lot of political back and forth on it. I did not respond to too many things. There were a few things that I did. There was maybe one thing that I did respond to, and I don't really remember. There were people who were saying that I'm gonna come out and I'm gonna cruise anyway, and this is horrible. Whoever organized this is silly, and this is dumb, and this comment will probably be deleted by Castro Valley News and I'll be banned. That's not going to happen. I like people disagreeing with me and us. I think it makes for a more robust conversation. I think it helps engage more people when they see countering viewpoints. I don't think some of the abusive comments are necessary. But with that said, I also understand the lack of a better term, the vitriolic is probably the $2 word. The differing viewpoints when it comes to COVID and social distancing and masking and the shelter in place, it is a third rail topic. And I get that. And it's become political. I don't think it will ever not be political. I think it's been made political by some people in our by a number of elected officials, and a lot of the media have made it political. And I think it's unfortunate because I think it is based in science. That may be a very unpopular opinion, and I understand that. Denise said she's not taking any chances on COVID Delta variant, and I agree with you on that. But I just wanted to touch really fast, but I kind of dwelled on it a little bit because it's a passionate thing for me as well, and I understand it's a passionate thing for you guys as well, because I know how much people want to go out and have fun, and I know there is a bubbling, simmering, searing, braised, broiling. Did a lot of cooking references there. It's a hot passion for a lot of people to go out and do things and feel like we are returning to normal. And it doesn't look like we're doing that anytime soon. If you are of a mind where you want to play it safe, like Denise does. And if you don't, and if you feel like these events should continue and you wish to go to them, please do so. But please pay some attention to the science and what's being told. And with that said as well, there have been, in my observation, a lot of mixed messages in regards to what is not happening with the pandemic and with COVID itself. And I think a lot of distrust has been rooted from that, and I understand that. I feel that as well. It seems like sometimes we get some messages on this side, and then we get some messages saying something else another day. So I'm really prattling on in regards to what it all boils down to is cruise night was postponed because we want people to be safe. We don't want people of my generation or people of younger generations going out and having fun. And we don't want to not have people have fun, but we don't want people to get exposed to that virus and potentially spread it to someone who may actually die from it. And that's the reality. That's what's happening with this virus, with the variant. And to the folks who have been extremely nonplussed about the cancellation, I'm very sorry. I am. I own a classic car. Cruise night started because myself and the other organizers wanted to see cruising come back in a safe way, which is why we have involvement. We have definite buy-in with Castro Valley CHP and the Alameda County Sheriffs. Good evening to Kimberly. Christy, thank you for the compliment. I appreciate that. I'm sad. I'm bummed. The last time that we canceled cruise night, I was just as bummed because it's such a fun night. It's so much. There's so much joy seen by classic car owners like myself and our other organizers going out and driving their cars around among other classic cars. And we've got two DJs pumping out, oldies and classic music. So I'm just as bummed out. But Bob said, "You just do what's right. Don't worry about it." I appreciate that, Bob. But I am worried about. Oh, Kimberly is asking what was tonight's trivia question. We kind of started late, Kim, so we're gonna get to the trivia question in a few minutes. I've been blowing hot air on cruise night for far too long. So to sum it all up, I'm sorry we canceled this year. I know there's a lot of people who are really, really sore about it. And I say sore in like from a 50s movie, like I'm sore about that. I'm sore too. I'm bummed. I am bummed because I love cruise night. I love seeing all the cars. I love seeing the joy of people driving their old cars because, like I said, I own a classic car. So it's an event very close to my heart. I'm passionate about it because I love old cars and I love playing a small role in things that bring joy to the community. And hopefully next year everything will line up and we can make cruise night bigger and better and funner. Or just as big and fun as it was the last time we did it, because it was amazing last time. So good evening, Karen. I hope you're doing well too. Denise says, "Well, just think when we do have our cruise night, it's going to be great." 55 Chevy. Denise, you have a beautiful car. 55 Chevy is a beautiful car. What a beautiful vehicle. Becky says, "I think cruise night should go on. First of all, don't we all still drive? The pandemic hasn't." Oh no, where'd that comment go? No way. Let me find that. The comments go in weird order, but I want to respond to that. Just give me a second here. Just bear with me, guys. I want to find that. Somebody else commented, and all the questions ended up going out of order. Oh no, that looks like it's gone. Sorry. Which that person? I'm sorry, I can't find Becky's comment, but I think I remember the gist of it. which is something that a lot of other people mentioned. That cruise night should go on because people are just in their cars. Isn't people in their own bubble driving in their own car safe? Yes. I mean, I'm not a scientist, so please, I'm not going to say that's safe, but that seems safe. But the reality of the situation here is cruise night attracts a lot of people on the boulevard. A lot. And we have a conscience, and knowing how many people are going to be on the boulevard, thousands and thousands of people were on the boulevard the last cruise night. That's the potential for a lot of people to potentially get infected. And I don't want to discount Becky's point because it's true. People cruising in their cars, the factor of that not being safe is pretty low, and a lot of people commented that. What's the point of canceling an event if people are just cruising in their cars? And it's technically, it's just not cruise night. It attracts, as you can imagine, a lot of people on the boulevard, walking up and down, looking at the cars. A lot of people are on the boulevard because they've parked their cars and they are looking at other cars. The amount of people is literally the Rowell Ranch Rodeo ×2 when it comes to people on the boulevard. And our event doesn't have the shorter route that the parade has. We go from Stanton all the way to Forest. And all those blocks, the sidewalks are packed with people. Packed. Just packed. And I'm not going to say packed again, but I just did. So in the interest of not having people stacked next to each other on the boulevard, masked or not, vaccinated or not, we did not want to put that out there to have people in that risky situation that they might get infected. So I hear your point, and a lot of people have said that. But with that said, when you have so many amazing, beautiful cars cruising up and down the boulevard, and we encourage people to come walk down on the boulevard, we have in past years, and to also go to local restaurants, which hurts us because. So Becky is asking, is it possible to ask that people use their brain and not gather along the street? And the thing with that, Becky, and I appreciate you posting another comment. I don't know what happened to your last comment. It disappeared. I looked through the thread 2 times. The thing with that is you can definitely ask people to not shoplift from Safeway, but people are still going to shoplift from Safeway. And that's a really bad analogy because I don't want to compare shoplifting to people not wearing masks. But I don't think that's going to happen because of the amount of people who are just so excited to go out and do something. And the event attracts so many people that with the fact that we didn't have an event last year, I can imagine people would be more attracted to come out this year too. And Becky, you bring up another point that I kind of touched on earlier. As far as you know it, Brentwood is having a cruise night. That's fine for them. It's not what we want to do. And there are a lot of other events that are being canceled. There are a lot of other events that are continuing. And I realize that, and that's a wonderful point, and that's the reality of the situation. I think our car show is still continuing. That may change. And Becky, she hears what I'm saying. It's just sad, and I agree. Cruise night started with the idea of recapturing the fun and enjoyment of classic cars and the socialization. And that's the key right there. A lot of it is socialization with other people. And unfortunately, what's happening now is we have the mask mandate coming back as of today. And the Delta variant is spreading. And it was... There you go. Bob says it right there. The point of the event is to bring people to town. People and their cars. So at the end of the day, Becky, I'm just as sad as you are, maybe even more, because my heart and soul is vested in this event, and my heart and soul is also invested in our community, and I want people to be safe, which is why when we organized cruise night, we were honored to get buy-in and support from the CHP and the sheriffs and Alameda County Fire. So Becky is asking, does it have to be canceled for a year? What about postponing it until a later date if possible? If things change in the near future, we'll do it, because we're all itching to do this event. We are all itching to do it. I don't want to make a promise that we're going to go forward in a later date and then have to say again we're not doing it. So if we can, we will. It's not looking like we're going to be able to in the near future, the way that things are kind of shaking out with the new numbers, and it bums me out too. And we've gone, I think, about a half hour on this topic. Not that I don't want to brush it under the rug, but I think we've kind of explored it a lot. Unless there's other people who want to make comments or have thoughts that you'd like to share about cruise night, you can definitely post up a comment, or you can text me at 510-331-9112. Becky is asking, just hope, no promise. So the hope is we will be doing it again. We will be doing cruise night again as soon as we can. As soon as we can. B2, I hope I said your name correctly. When we talk about classic cars, what is the latest year for the cars to be classic? To be honest with you, sir, you can bring any classic or exotic car you want to. If it's a classic in your mind, bring it out and drive it. There's no cutoff here. We had 1980s Mustangs that were tricked out that looked great. Classic and exotics is what we look for. Anything that's unique. We had one year we had a bunch of we had a group of motorcycle enthusiasts with classic, I think, Triumphs that came out. So classic and exotic vehicles, cars, anything that you might like to cruise in, bring it out. We'd love to see it. And yes, Becky, I agree. Just hope, no promise. And that's kind of where we're at right now. We really don't need a lot of advance time to get this going. Maybe a month to let people know that we're actually going to be doing it. And like I said, we would love to do this. I was so excited to get back and do cruise night this year, but it just. Laura says hospitals all over the Bay Area are seeing an increase of COVID positive patients again. Get vaccinated, practice social distancing, wear a mask. I couldn't agree with you more. Bob is saying contest time, so Bob is telling me to do the contest. So tonight's contest, and I'm way late. I was late to begin with. Cali Life is laughing out loud at something. Thank you, sir. So I'll give you the spiel when it comes to the contest for tonight. So the first person to text in the correct answer to this question, the number is 510-331-9112, will get $20 credit at the Chabot Theatre. And that's another topic I wanted to bring up later in the show, is the Chabot Theatre. So I hope people don't let me forget about talking about the Chabot Theatre, because it's important. It's important that we talk about the Chabot Theatre and not forget that they are open and rocking and rolling, but we'll get to that in a minute. So first person to answer 510-331-9112, text me your answer. What was the name of the grocery market that was at the Lake Chabot Public Market? That is the market that is on Lake Chabot Road, catty corner to the Community Center Park. And I think the nearest cross street is Quail. So what was the name of the grocery market prior to being the Lake Chabot Market? And the winner gets the $20 gift certificate. They don't have a gift certificate. You would go to the Chabot and your $20 would be waiting for you there. We have a winner. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. So let me go. And there were, yes, we have a winner. We have a lot of winners. Hang on, let me text this person. Bear with me, guys. I'm just texting the winner. Okay, well, that was cool. A lot of people got this one right. That was a good question, though. Shout out to a very special, amazing, wonderful, awesome person for that question. That was a good one. So yeah, there we go. So that was the question. So if you're not, also, again, if you're not familiar with the show, I keep saying that, it sounds silly. Usually midway when I don't start the show late, it was Dennis. Dennis won it. Right on. And the correct answer was, of course, Romley's. It also was Little Grocer. It was, I think, Handy Andy's also, but it was Romley's prior to it closing. So, Dennis, thank you. You won. And Dennis, as always, thank you for your support for the show. Thank you for always listening and referring other people. If you're not familiar, also, you can send us stars. Stars are ways that you can show that you appreciate and like the show. And yeah, Cali Life is correct. That was probably the quickest win. Denise is asking, what was it? It was Romley's. It was also a couple other business names before. It was Handy Andy, and I think there was another one, but it was Romley's. Yes. Okay, and also, yeah, during the broadcast, you can support the page by sending stars. It is a digital gift that helps Castro Valley News earn money. There is a link, I think, in the thread. You can send stars that way. We appreciate it. Also, if you don't want to send stars and you want to throw us $1 or $5, you can also make a pledge, and our moderator will post the link to make a pledge in just a second. Excuse me one moment. And yes, I think that broke the quickest win record ever. So there you go. Our moderator has posted the link if you would like to donate to us. You can make a pledge of any amount. You can do pledges monthly. You can establish whatever amount you're comfortable with. If you are comfortable with giving us 50 cents, that's great. Any amount helps. We are a business. We are a group of local folks who do Castro Valley News. We love our town. We live here in town. So, and I could go and completely digress onto a discussion about how news has changed, but I think part of how news has changed is what you're seeing. A lot of people go to social media for news and information, and really kind of one of the cogs in the machine of what we're doing is this show that allows us to talk about things that are happening in our community, things that are important to us. It's kind of like an informal social coffee klatch, kind of get together, soiree, shindig. It's kind of a social thing for us to do, to talk about things that are on our mind and things that are affecting us here in our neighborhood. And we can also talk about things that are, national issues, or we can always talk about food or new businesses, very popular. But I think it's cool. The way news has changed, I think also is cool. You really can't stop technology and how it changes and molds how established means evolve. And I think when it comes to news, evolve is an important word, because news has evolved so much in the past few years. It's ridiculous. And I'm really proud of the things that we do here at Castro Valley News in regards to to bringing new ways of getting information to you, and new ways to engage with you. And I would be remiss to mention that I'd like to give a special thanks to tonight's sponsor, who sponsored the Midway giveaway, which wasn't the Midway giveaway. We should call it the Late Great giveaway, because we were extremely late. But thank you so much to tonight's sponsor, Forester.org. They are a local nonprofit with the mission to reforest urban communities. You can learn more at their website. That is Forester.org, Forestr.org, Forestr.org. And they are the folks who you see at the side of the freeway very often picking up garbage, which is in no shortage. And that is actually, that's a topic that is near and dear to my heart, because it's every day just about. I'm reaching for something here by the computer. Just about every day. Every day I go out in my neighborhood and I pick up garbage. And I've posted tons and tons and tons of pictures of some of the wonderful, interesting items that I have picked up just doing that on a daily basis. Denise says voiceover over voiceover. Batu, you're welcome. I'm not sure what you thank me for, but you're welcome. I'm just trying to get some. Got a bunch of stuff. Trying to sort through. Okay, that's working good. My trackpad was a bit wonky. Denise says making you dizzy. What's making you dizzy? I hope I'm not making you dizzy. But the folks at Forester.org, Forestr.org, they are the folks that you see at the freeway on and off ramps picking up rubbish, and that's one of the things that I'm very passionate about. Just about daily, I go out on my bicycle and I go to the area near my office here, and I pick up trash. And there's been, like I said, wonderful, interesting, frightening items that I've found. Well, thank you, Meredith, for 50 stars. So Forester.org, again, are the folks that you see near the freeway on and off ramps picking up rubbish. And when I first met the folks with Forester, they invited me out to one of the locations that they pick up garbage at in Castro Valley, over by Burger Island, which is where Wendy's and McDonald's is. It's Burger Island. They were near the freeway off-ramp there. So hung out with them for maybe an hour or two and picked up some stuff, some rubbish out there. Randall, good evening, Randall. Randall is asking, are you using a wider angle lens than previous? No, I think I may be closer to the camera, or the computer might be closer to me. And I think I tilted the camera. I tilted the my computer to give a different perspective of myself. So Forester.org, they also have regular events where they're giving away plants, which is cool. They are, like I said, they're the folks picking up the trash and rubbish at the side of the freeway, and I do that also myself near where my office is. And I'm blathering again, and I see the view count is going down, but it's something that I didn't expect I would enjoy, but I definitely do, because it makes my neighborhood look much cleaner, and it there's less blight when you pick up trash. That's kind of obvious. I didn't really need to say that, but I would encourage you, if you have time and you have the inclination, if you see things on the road and it bothers you, if you see rubbish, maybe start going picking up a few things. Maybe your neighbors will be encouraged to do so as well. I know in every post, when I post a photo of some of the bags of rubbish that I pick up, I do always mention that it's satisfying. To me, it is satisfying. It may not be satisfying to you, but I do find it satisfying to beautify my neighborhood. That probably sounds corny. I hope it doesn't, but it's from the heart. It does feel good to beautify my community, and there's no shortage of people who want to not have my community be beautiful because, as you've seen on the page, there was a huge bundle of rotten carpets that were dumped in the middle of the road here. There was also the gigantic mobile home that was illegally dumped here on the street where our offices are. And I'm sure in your neighborhood you see the usual suspects of fast food wrappers and what else? Mattresses, couches. There's an amazing amount of bags of clothes that still can be worn. I think I mentioned this last week, and if I didn't, if I did, pardon me, I'm gonna mention it again. I did mention it. There's a lot of food that gets wasted. There's a lot of cans of food. There's a lot of things that could go to people who may be hungry. And for the lack of a better term, it's disgusting to see good food get thrown away when there's hungry people in our nation, when there's people living on the streets who could use it, who may want it. So if you have food that you do not desire anymore, we have a wonderful community cupboard on Forest Avenue. We mentioned and discussed this at length during the last show. I don't have the address on at the tip of my fingers, but you can look up Community Cupboard on Facebook. They have their own Facebook page. They needed a shout out last week for perishable items for the refrigerator and freezer, and you guys responded. And from what I understand, a lot of donations were made, myself included. I went to Safeway and bought some hot dogs, some cheese, and some deli meat for the cupboard. And again, if you have extra items in your pantry, things that are non-perishable or perishable, they have a refrigerator and a freezer there for those items. Please consider not throwing them in the dumpster. There you go, Community Cupboard. Our moderator just posted the link to the location and their page. Yeah, that was frustrating to see 3 paper bags full of good items, good canned items. There were loaves of bread that were in there that were fresh loaves of bread. Granted, they were non-sliced loaves of bread. I guess non-sliced bread did not fit into someone's culinary agenda. That might be like a 2-word point score, culinary agenda. But definitely, please, if you have items in your pantry, freezer, refrigerator that you do not want anymore, they do not have to go into the garbage. You can bring them to the Community Cupboard on Forest Avenue. If you don't want to bring them there, message the page, leave them on your porch. I will pick them up for you. I'll bring them to the Community Cupboard for you. Tanya would love to have extra items. I would love to see extra items go to the Community Cupboard because I know for a fact it helps a lot of people in our community, and Tanya puts her heart and soul into that cupboard. And it's really a beacon of generosity in our community. So with that said, whoa, we did the giveaway and Dennis won that. Congratulations, Dennis. We've still got some time. Got some time to burn. I was late tonight, so let's talk. Let's talk about the Chabot Theatre. The Chabot Theatre are open. I think they have different capacity when it comes to how many people they can fit in there and accommodate. Give me 1 second. Thank you. So the Chabot Theatre are still open. They're still rocking and rolling. They're still showing movies. They still have a website. They're selling merch. They have really cool shirts with the logo that we shared earlier. They are owned by the wonderful folks at First Presbyterian Church over on Grove behind Trader Joe's. I'm not saying that as an endorsement for religion or for the church itself, but I am saying this in support of the outreach that First Presbyterian Church has done in our community in regards to the Tiny Home Project, helping some homeless and less fortunate folks get back on their feet and get into permanent housing. I think when that project came through and was approved, I think that's a great addition to our community where folks who are employed can live in these dwellings for a certain amount of time and save up money to find permanent housing. I think it's wonderful. First Presbyterian Church also has a lot of shelter outreach things that they do. They have warming stations when it's hot. They have cooling stations when it's no. They have cooling stations when it's hot and warming stations when it's cold. And it hasn't been cold for a while, but they have done that. And they also are responsible for Small Town, which is next to Trader Joe's, which is a community center that is open for folks who want to hang out and do creative things and do art. And also First Presbyterian Church not too long ago purchased the Chabot Theatre when it was put on the market by Cinemark. And I think, and again, I'm not supporting, I'm saying I support their choice in purchasing the Chabot and doing what they can to ensure that it stays in the community and it stays open and running. I honestly want to thank First Presbyterian Church for purchasing the Chabot and keeping that gem on our boulevard. The Chabot Cinema is one of many gems that we have in our community. We're so lucky to have an original, restored, one single screen theater in our community that is still beautiful. It's still vibrant. It's still active. It's open. It's beautiful. So if you are looking to go see a movie and you are thinking that you would like to be social distanced and wear a mask while you're watching this motion picture, or if you would just like a shirt with the Chabot Theater on it, or if you just want to support them, I think they have a pledge page as well on their website. I think it's really incumbent and it's very important to us, and I think it would really behoove us. That's a 75-cent word. I think it would behoove us all to, at every chance, support the Chabot Theater every opportunity that we can. And a big shout out to Jake Metcalf and to Paul Keim, who was helping manage the Chabot Theater for a long time too. Yeah, let's do whatever we can and everything we can to keep the Chabot Theater up and running, because like I said, it's one of the many gems that we have in our town. And how lucky are we to have so many amazing, beautiful things in our town? Lake Chabot, the Performing Arts Center, the new stadium, well, not so new stadium at Castro Valley High, the Chabot Theater. I'm probably going to forget the new library, which is not so new either, but the new library on Norbridge. We've got us a community here. I'm going to include the village because it's just such a nice place to go, and there's always a neighbor at the village that I see. So it's like a social place as well. So with that said, Chabot Cinema. I'm going to cross the I made a note of a topic on the list and I don't remember. We've got a couple minutes left. This is great. This is great. Like I mentioned earlier in the show, yes, Randall, thank you so much. The Farmers Market. Yes. Big shout out to the Farmers Market. There are so many great, amazing things happening in Castro Valley that are here that you tend to forget a few of them and leave them kind of off the list, unfortunately. So yes, thank you, Randall, for reminding me of the Farmers Market. And I want to, I'll close the show out now because we got a couple more minutes until we hit the hour, but I can go further if you guys are interested. And also, if you have questions, comments, complaints, confessions, I think I said confessions, questions, comments, compliments, complaints, whatever's on your mind, 510-331 9112 is the number to text. You can call as well if you would like to talk. Most people prefer texting, which is cool with me. I like that. I understand hearing your voice on here, it could be difficult. Hearing my voice, let you in on a true story. I once these shows are posted up, I've not listened to one of them. And to be completely honest with you, the first two or three should just be deleted from the page because they're horrible. They're not good. With that said, let me thank you guys for your patience in me kind of learning the ropes and being a better host. This is my first rodeo, even though we're 67 episodes in here, and I didn't mention that at the beginning. This is episode 67. Blows my mind. We've been doing this 67 times. We've missed a few weeks. I think we missed maybe 2 weeks. And thank you, Lupita. She says it's good to put a face with the voice, and it's good to, as well, put a face to the voice, which is great because I think probably we should have started the show earlier with video. I think it would have done a lot better. I think it would have engaged a lot more people. But like I've said, since Jump Street, I'm not vain, so I don't think of, ooh, people need to see me. I don't think that at all. You need to see my dog because he is handsome. He is a good-looking guy. So with that said, I want to circle back and thank Lucille Lorge for listening in. I hope she's still listening. And again, I want to thank her for her continued generosity with her knowledge of Castro Valley history, and also for just being a genuinely great friend and a very, very sweet person. I appreciate Lucille in so many ways. She's just a wonderful, wonderful person. So on a regular basis, depending on how often she sends them over, we will be reading some of Lucille's Castro Valley stories. And we had one last week that was wonderful. And there were somebody just texted in a question. Who do we contact to ask about adding speed bumps on neighborhood streets? Oh, that was Cali Life. So Cali Life, you're going to want to go through Alameda County, and that's I believe you can go 510-670-5400. That's going to lead you to Alameda County Planning. That also might be Public Works. So either of those numbers, either of those agencies can get you the information that you're looking for. And I think one of the things that you'd have to do that is required to get speed humps, speed bumps installed on any street is you need to have a petition with a certain amount of approval from your neighbors to have those speed humps or bumps installed. There also, I believe, needs to be comment and input from first responders. Randall, thank you so much. That would be Public Works. Randall knows what he's talking about. So definitely you have to reach out to Public Works. You have to do the petition. It has to go before first responders to make sure it's not a main thoroughfare that they would object to speed humps being on in regards to response time for those first responders. But definitely 670-5400 Public Works would be the agency for you to reach out. Here we go. Public Works Agency. Let me bring that up 1 second. Give me a second. So to answer your question correctly, Cali Life, hope you're still listening. That is going to be Public Works Agency 510-670-5480. Ask for the traffic division, and they will fill you in on all the information, all the things that you need to do to get speed humps, speed bumps installed, whatever they're calling them, and they will let you know in regard to the petition and all of the T's that you need to cross and the I's that you need to dot in regards to getting speed humps involved. So since I was incorrect, I want to read that one more time. So if you're looking on your street, any street, in unincorporated Alameda County, the agency you want to reach out to for speed humps, speed bumps, Public Works, Alameda, one more time, Alameda County Public Works Agency 510-670-5480. Ask for the traffic division. They'll let you know what's going on. So we're over an hour, and that's fine. Let's keep going. I want to read you this this really cool story from Lucille Lorge, and this story is a little bit longer than the last one, but I think it's fun. I think you guys are gonna enjoy it. So this actually is a story of the birth of the Castro Valley Fire District. And again, this is from our a wonderful local historian, Lucille Lorge. Thank you again so much for sharing all of the history that you have in your mind and your heart for our town. Thank you so much, Lucille, for sharing. So the birth of the Castro Valley Fire District. In the early 1920s, a handsome young man moved to Castro Valley to marry a girl from the Ramage, R-A-M-A-G-E family. And his name was Jerry Unser. You probably will recognize that name. Jerry was the father of Al and Bobby Unser of race car fame. He had a great interest in cars, so he opened a garage by Lake Chabot Road. His interest magnified when by chance he found an abandoned 1920 Winton touring car in a ditch in the canyon. At that time, the valley was full of brooder and chicken houses. Fires had become a big issue, from the stoves that kept the baby chicks warm and the oil that was spread on the floor to kill the lice. Unser modified the old car with the needed equipment, and Pete Selmeski from Pete's Hardware painted it. In 1927, the first fire district was established by the Board of Supervisors. 1929 saw the building of the first firehouse at the entrance of Lake Chabot Road, with Jerry Unser as its first fire chief. And I'll give you that picture right now. I hope you can see that. So that's I think that's the fire department, the very first building next to, I think, one of the original Safeways, and that's at the corner of Lake Chabot Road, and that firehouse was demolished, and the building where Safeway is now the building where Safeway was then is now, I think, Pho Auntie, and also Tony and Ted's Liquors. So there you go. There's that. So there you go. I'll read that again. By 1929 saw the building of the first firehouse at the entrance of Lake Chabot Road, with Jerry Unser as its first fire chief. The building was 50 by 45 feet, and at the time in the heart of the business district. The building had to be completed in 60 days. They had invited the business owners to become the first volunteer smoke eaters, as they were called, and paid them 50 cents per fire and assessed them $1 a month for upkeep. When the alarm sounded, they would dash to the station from a variety of workplaces, and this was the start of the Castro Valley Fire Protection District of Alameda County. Unser subsequently moved to Pikes Peak, Colorado, married someone else after his first marriage had failed, then moved to New Mexico, where he opened 5 garages while raising 4 sons. Jerry Jr. killed in a 1959 Indy 500 crash Louis, Al, and Bobby. Al and Bobby went on to become Indianapolis champions, and that was courtesy of Lucille Lorge, our Castro Valley historian. And here's a picture at the top of that Winston that was converted to a fire vehicle. And here is Jerry Unser's UC garage behind Fred Peel's service station on the boulevard. And at the bottom is Castro Valley School with the fire volunteers in front of that Winston. And I believe the majority of this information is in Lucille's book, which we shared earlier. But I wanted to get more of these stories from Lucille to share with you guys, because frankly, they're amazing to me, and it's wonderful to hear a lot of the local stories of where we live. So with that said, that rounds out this episode. We actually went over. We went an hour and 10 minutes, and Cali Life says, always nice to see historic photos. I agree. I love seeing old historic things in Castro Valley, of Castro Valley. If you have any historic photos, definitely message the page. I'd love to see them. I'd love to share them. If you have old Castro Valley stories, things that you know about our town, things that you might know about your street, things that you've heard from your parents or grandparents about Castro Valley, please message them in. Send me a couple paragraphs. If you have a photo, I'd love to share them. I love hearing about the history of our town, and there's a lot of history here to share and to learn. And you can also definitely check out Lucille's book and read those stories and get edified. That's a $2 word. Get edify yourself with our local history. There's a lot to learn. And with that said, one more time, thank you so much, Lucille, for sharing all of your stories, for always sharing your stories. Even when I was back with the forum, Lucille was always she was my go-to person when it comes to Castro Valley history. And thank you so much, Lucille, for your years of friendship and your years of kindness. That is the end of the show. I have blathered on enough. We'll be back next Tuesday, 7 p.m., doing audio and video, talking about things that are on our mind, things that are happening in our community, things that are affecting us in many ways. You guys have been great. I have been Roberto. As always, when the going gets weird, the weird turn pro. Stay safe.